departments and agencies are to play, it would seem from your explanation that they are supposed to go to the drawing board and come up with a plan that they themselves can implement.
What we are going to come up with now as our inputs, all of them, they have inputs already. Of course, the thing did not just drop from the sky. It must have, in short, it came as a result of the series of security meetings that have been held with the National Security Council meeting held with the Office of the National Security Advisor, who is a coordinator of the security architecture of the whole country. And you will come, police, for instance, this is what has been happening from our results, from our investigations. Of course, once there is an action, once there is a, let's take, for instance, the Northeast issue now, we would have come up and said, look, for instance, I will tell you in the belief that this thing did not start in 2014, 2005, or there, about over 20 years ago. And then you now have to go back in retrospect. Such inputs must have come from all the various stakeholders. Then what do we do? So for the public now to come to terms with this action plan is that when all these things are harnessed together and they say this is a plan that we have, then it can now be churned out to the public as a document, but not that things have not been on the ground. That will, enhance or that will enable these MDAs to come up with a coordinated, a unified action plan, a national action plan.
Maybe I should start by asking, because I'm still a little lost. Okay. Maybe I should start by asking, what precisely is the lacuna right now that has been noticed that has made them come up with this national action plan on counterterrorism?
Well, you may say a lacuna, you may say a gap, yes. Yes, because probably there must have been, I can't speak for the Office of the National Security Advisor, I can only speak for the defense. But I want to assume that probably the coordination, particularly between, let me say, the military and paramilitary on one side, and then other stakeholders, that is the society, the civilian stakeholders, has been a lacuna. Take, for instance, why is it that information does not flow freely from the public to the security agencies? Probably lack of understanding, lack of appreciation of the need for national security. With this action plan coming up, it should be closed. So, of course, yes, I can say that is one of the lacuna that I can tell you must have, influenced or caused the government or the National Security Advisor to put forward this proposal, which has been approved by the President.
So if we're to go with that example of, lack of free flow of information, how do you think that this national action plan will correct it?
It will correct it because you discover that from here we are going to carry along. The action plan will involve civil society organizations, the youth, all of them, traditional rulers, opinion leaders, all of them, they will be sensitized. And then they will now come to realize that, look, without information, there cannot be intelligence. And without intelligence, nothing about security can be adequately and effectively handled. Then they will now come to terms with it.
Part of what we also hear is a plan to ensure that, religious extremism is also brought down to a significant, brought down to the barest minimum, yes, if possible. I'm wondering, how does the federal government, or how does this action plan... That is why
this action plan involves religious leaders. If you, from the sketchy, document or the speech, the remarks that was presented that day, if you go into it, you discover that it mentioned about religious leaders. They will reach out to them. What does that translate to? Preaching the right message, the message of love, by the two religions that we have in this country is all message of love, no message of hate. So eventually it will translate to addressing some issues, particularly the area of maybe hate speech and all, and then turning the message of God, permit me to use that, upside down, the other way around. But preaching the real message of God, love your neighbor, don't kill your neighbor.
You don't think that this would have been better achieved with laws?
No, it cannot. For me, as an individual, yes, no. It cannot, because if you affect the spirit of a man, the truth of the matter is that you have affected the totality of his life, just like the morale for troops. Morale has got to do with the troop spirit, fighting spirit. If you like, give the soldier the best platform, they give the Air Force, the Navy the best platform, the soldier the best equipment or rifle, but the moment his morale is low, you can do nothing for you, can achieve nothing. The same thing goes with the human being. Modestly, I would say as a Christian, I know that once somebody believes the life of an individual, the body revolves around the spirit and the soul. So that is why we need the religious leaders, the preachers, the clerics, to be part of this action plan. They are very, very important, because from our experience in the Northeast, I will tell you that some people have come out, in short, well, I think we have not declassified it, but they'll tell you that we must die. Even if you are, like, not even the surrendered ones, the ones captured, they will tell you, I'm ready to die. So what has it? And then they will now tell you, this is what God wants. What about the person that will say, look, I'm donating, contributing my child to go and become a suicide bomber, because that is the only way to go to heaven or to paradise. So you can see that religion, of course, have a great part to play in the whole of this affair.